is going on YouTube? Dr. Ironbat Prime 2.0 back again with this new video. As you hit this new video, this is my review on Thor Love and Thunder, because at the point in time me videoing this, I literally just got back from seeing the movie up on the big screen, better late than never, and I will say this, there will be some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, what the heck is wrong with you? Go see it while it's still up on the big screen. Because there's gonna be some spoilers, because I mean the movie's been out for a couple days, nearly a week at the point in time me videoing this, so I just wanted to throw this out there and just talk about the movie and just give my full-on thoughts and review. And without further ado, what do I think about this movie? What do I think about Thor Love and Thunder? In my full-on opinion, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good. I mean, it definitely has to be up there of like being a top 10 or top 15 when it comes to MCU movies. It just also has like the 50% of comedy and 50% action-packed adventure, and it works very well because it also has that same vibe as Thor Ragnarok had, thanks to Taika Waititi. And it just has, it also has like a good soundtrack, theme, characters, costumes, cinematography, and soundtrack, and just everything was really good with this movie. So yeah, that's basically everything I could say. I'll admit, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was super good. In my opinion on rating it, I would give it, I would seriously give it like a 9 out of 10. And I'll admit, I don't know if I put in my top 10 MCU movies, but maybe top 15. Nah, mainly because I only have 2 tiny complaints, but I'll get those out of the way near the end of this video. But, just talk about some other things that I liked and enjoyed about the movie. Here are the characters and, things that I enjoyed. Of course, I have to talk about Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor himself. Chris Hemsworth was, just born to play Thor. I mean, he did an incredible job, as always. I mean, from his first movie that he did back in 2011, and from, being a very serious hero to now being a bit of a comedy gag, that was kind of sort of, what the creators were going for, and I like how they, I just kind of sort of like the change. I mean, sure, some people would prefer the dark and serious kind of Thor from comic books and all that, but I don't mind a small twist and change when it comes to when it comes to this version, when it comes to Hemsworth being Thor. I mean, comic books and movies are doing that all the time, so I'm used to it, and I really like how Thor grows into from everything he did in his past movies to what he did in this movie. Now I just want to talk about the other characters in this movie, like Jane Foster, who was played by Natalie Portman, but also became, the Mighty Thor. And I also have to talk about Tessa Thompson, who came back as Valkyrie, Taika Waititi, who reprised his role as Korg, aka the director of the movie, and there was also, Russell Crowe, aka Zeus himself in this movie. Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor, I mean, I thought she was great. I thought she was amazing. I mean, Natalie Portman, she did her character some injustice. I really loved the direction of how they went from, of why she became the Mighty Thor and just her relationship with Thor, Odin's son. I mean, again, she's a great actress. I thought she did an amazing job at playing Jane Foster, aka Mighty Thor. And I'll admit, it does sadden my heart that we might not see her as Mighty Thor again in future MCU movies, but she was great. Her costume was great. I mean, her character was great, and just everything about her was great. I mean, she is, my second favorite character in the movie. And, Valkyrie, she was great as well. If you loved and enjoyed her in, in Thor Ragnarok, you'll love and enjoy her, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie in this movie as well. But also, yes, of course, I did enjoy Korg as well, because, I mean, he's a comedy gag character, and he just had a way of bringing some laughs here and there. So, if you loved Korg from, Thor Ragnarok, just like Valkyrie, you'll love and enjoy him in this movie as well. Plus, I love the fact of how Korg would keep on narrating and be the storyteller. It was just all around funny and cool at the same time. But also, I do want to talk about Zeus. I will admit, even though, Russell Crowe did a perfect job on playing Zeus in this movie. I mean, even though he was only in the movie for I guess you could say 10 or 15 minutes total, That's my best way of saying it, but I mean, even though he was kind of sort of portrayed as a villain, I thought he had a perfect role and he had a good part to play, especially the post-credits, which I'll talk to later in this video. And of course, I have to talk about Christian Bale, aka Gore the God Butcher. I mean, I'll admit, Christian Bale did an amazing job at playing Gore the God Butcher because like his story arc was great, his origin was really pulled right out of the comic books, and this is definitely has to be Gore the God Butcher definitely has to be like one of the scariest MCU villains, like right next to Thanos and Loki. So, yeah, that's I mean, again, Gore the God Butcher was crazy, awesome, and scary at the same time. I mean, again, his origin was ripped right out of the comics, and Christian Bale really went from like playing Batman to being a popular Marvel villain. And as for other things I want to talk about this movie, my two things I do love and enjoy. I mean, the costumes were great, visual effects were great. I will admit, the post credits where we got to see Hercules. Looks like we got another Avenger coming later in the future. And also, I'll admit, it does sadden my heart that we might not see Jane Foster in future MCU movies and shows and all that, but in a way, I do like the direction of, Thor, is in a way becoming a father, adopted father, and, how we'll get to see, and I just hope that we get to see maybe just a tad bit more of him later in the future. So, my two tiny complaints I do want to say, here are my two tiny complaints. And those complaints are Thor with that new helmet that he wore in the movie was just a little 50-50 on, and also the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were great, but I wish they were in a little longer. Yeah, I'll admit, that helmet that Thor was wearing, when he was fighting, all those monsters and all that, I will admit, I mean, the costume he was wearing was great, but the helmet, it just, I put this on my Instagram story the other day, but, the helmet just made him look more like Hawkman from DC Comics. And, yeah, sorry, that's one of my tiny complaints. And my other tiny complaint on, the Guardians of the Galaxy, just being in the mood for like 10 minutes. I'll admit, totally understanding, but I just wish that we could have seen more of them. That's why I would rate this movie a 9 out of 10, because of those two tiny complaints. But again, I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I can understand if, they're too busy with, Guardians 3, the Baby Groot series that's coming to Disney+. Oh, and their holiday special that's coming to Disney+, are, if I can understand they're busy with those later, and they're coming, later in the future. But, hey, I'll admit, I just hope that we get to see them later in just future MCU things, and, this definitely sets us up for future Marvel things, Marvel events, and just whatever comes in later in the MCU, of course, whether it's Disney Plus or big screen. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's basically everything I could say about this movie, and everything that, again, I'll admit, I'm still trying to process this movie, and again, I literally just got back from seeing it, and I'm still giving it a 9 out of 10 because, of those two tiny complaints. But hey, this definitely sets us up for some future MCU things, and, I just look forward to what's next in the MCU, of course. But again, I overall enjoy this movie. I really like it, and again, maybe I don't know if I put in top 10, but top 15 of MCU movies, but that's where I would rate it and put it. But just to just to go ahead and wrap up this video, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely go see it while it's still up on the big screen, or wait till it hits Disney Plus, whichever one you prefer. But also, don't forget to, subscribe to this channel by hitting subscribe right down there, along with hitting the bell, hitting the thumbs up, and hitting the comments. I really, really appreciate it if you guys did that for me, and it would really support my channel and all that. But also, don't forget to follow me on social media, which is right here, so just make sure to follow me on, any social media things that you got, and I just might follow you guys back. But until my next video, this is Dr. Ironbat Prime 2.0 signing out, and I will see you guys in my next video.